Hello, good morning. We're here to discuss the cloud migration proposal. In summary, with the current data center reaching its physical limits, it's proposed to migrate the current and future IT needs to the cloud. A sample migration to Amazon AWS could realize savings of 5.7 million USD over 3 years, achieving a return on investment of 20.7%.
The data center has been growing and operating in its current form for at least 2 decades. With continual growth of both data and the business, the data center has now reached its feasible limit. Our options are threefold: expand the existing data center, acquire a new data center and/or consider co-location, or to move all of the IT requirements to the cloud. This presentation will propose moving all of the IT requirements to the cloud. Before we go any further, we should, however, discuss exactly what is cloud computing. Cloud computing has a generally accepted definition. It's a model for enabling ubiquitous, convenient, on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources. Example, networks, servers, storage, applications, and services that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management. This is the definition published by the National Institute of Standards and Technology in October 2011. But what are the capabilities of the cloud? In short, one can build one's own data center, IT resources, and commission them in the cloud. These IT resources include servers, both virtual and physical, sometimes referred to as bare metal, storage devices like SAS, NAS, archival storage devices. You can commission databases, Oracle and non-relational types, as an example NoSQL, and you can also commission load balancers and VPNs. The cost of these resources will be on a subscription basis, incurring only OPEX expenses. What are the advantages and disadvantages of the cloud solution? Some advantages are lower hardware and IT costs through economies of scale. There's also an advantage of access to the cloud applications via any device over the internet, whether it be a tablet or a smartphone. Built-in disaster and recovery and business continuity is a part of the cloud solution. You also only pay for your consumption on a utility pricing model. From a business's point of view, all of these expenses would be incurred by the OPEX budget. IT staff resources are also the responsibility of the cloud provider. Cloud solutions are scalable. They can increase resources during peak business events, and you can also reduce those resources at times of non-peak. It also allows a company to rapid prototype and also decommission those rapid prototyping systems once they are done. And what are some of the disadvantages, however, of a cloud solution? The ultimate control of the IT resources are now with the cloud provider. You also have a possible security issue of the data in the cloud and also getting to that cloud. But however, these can be mitigated with a VPN or an HTTPS encryption connection methodology. There is possible resource contention, with all cloud provider customers seeking the same disaster recovery capability during a provider outage. A cloud customer is tied to a provider's pricing policy and price changes. A customer is not able to depreciate their hardware via a CapEx budget structure. Another disadvantage is that current IT staff may view cloud adoption as a threat. However, they could retrain as cloud engineers. A business could suffer network interruptions or a cloud provider outage with no recourse other than to accept their resolution times. Legally speaking, data privacy and geographic jurisdiction issues due to cloud providers' choice of location may be encountered. Now let's consider a SWOT analysis for a cloud implementation. The strengths of a cloud implementation are that they are overall cost-effective. They have a utility consumption model with fast provision and decommission. Weaknesses of a cloud implementation is a dependency on the cloud provider, a loss of physical control of the data, dependency on internet connectivity, and some staff retraining may be required. It does present opportunities of improved disaster recovery, rapid prototyping and proof of concept, and is adaptive to future needs. Threats encountered by cloud implementation is data security and data location security by a foreign government, as an example, the Patriot Act, if a non-US company chooses to use a cloud provider that is based in the US. There may be hidden costs. There may be costs not communicated by the cloud provider that would surface later on during an implementation. And there's also a possible backlash of the existing employee base when it comes to changes imposed to their jobs by a cloud implementation. Now let's consider the costs of a cloud implementation versus its on-premise alternative. Amazon Web Services, AWS, is one such cloud provider. Considering the current IT footprint of 20 database servers, 10 Oracle, 10 MySQL, 200 application servers on Linux, 200 terabytes of object storage, 500 terabytes of NAS storage, and 1,000 terabytes of SAN storage, a 3-year contract with AWS would compare to the existing on-premise costs as follows. On-premise would cost 10.5 million USD on that 3-year period, whereas AWS would charge 4.7 million US. Once implemented, these figures represent a potential return on investment of 20.7% on an OPEX alone budget. However, note, these costs do not include the cost of moving to the cloud, nor does it count the savings of elimination of an existing data center. In conclusion, migration to the cloud will bring not only improved costs and agility, but it will solve the existing issue of an oversubscribed data center. It is the recommendation of this presentation to commission a proof of concept cloud implementation with the view to gradually migrate all instances and services to the cloud.